Now we can just jump right into the game, and it's again Rogue, probably Miracle versus a handlock for Skip here. So we got two super interesting decks, and Cypher's starting hand. Well, Backstab, Earthen Ring Farseer. It's an okay start. You want to keep the Backstab in case if it's a Zoolock, you can kill one minion early on and play follow up SA7 if you get it, something like that. Well, and Skip just has a Twilight Drake.
Which is extremely strong. And I think that Handlock has the advantage in this matchup because he has so many taunts and the Rogue only has, okay, one Blade Flurry and two Steps.
If you get your minions early, like the Mountain Giants, the Twilight Drakes, there might be one sep, there might be two seps, but after those two seps are gone, you're just putting down minions after minions after minions. And that's extremely helpful. We see a Twilight Drake. That one will get sapped. But after the Twilight Drake gets sapped, there's not a lot Cypher can do to get rid of it, especially when it gets taunted up. So he can backstab it, and then he needs an Eviscerate to get past it. But until that's not coming, it's gonna hurt him a lot.
Yeah, but even with Eviscerate, it's kind of rough. Well, he needs Soundless Backstab Eviscerate to have a chance to get rid of it. Oh,
Second Twilight Drake
is scary.
Getting even stronger and stronger. That's a 4-9 Twilight Drake, and next turn it's gonna be even a 4-10 Twilight Drake. So this is super sad for Cypher, and it's looking good for Skip at the moment. Well, Cypher, he has a Deadly Poison. There's this Sab we're talking about. Cold Blood even. If he wants to backstab Cold Blood, that would be a bit crazy.
Backstab Cold Blood. Kaboosh.
Yeah. That's a super crazy amount of damage.
That would instantly lose him the game, though.
It would bring it. What would that be? Plus 8. It's 11. That would bring him down so far, and he chooses to trade here. That's okay,
Ouch.
since as we said, he has a big problem if there is such a Twilight Drake out. What he doesn't know.
There's another one.
There's another Twilight Drake, and not only another Twilight Drake, there's also a Soulfire. So if he's considering dropping an Auctioneer, which I would question hard, no one would die, absolutely, not only to the Twilight Drake. I could imagine he goes for Auctioneer, Coin, Deadly Poison, and then Shadow Stabs his Auctioneer. That would be okay. So he could draw 3 cards with that Auctioneer, and maybe get some. Maybe he even gets a Conceal or a Preparation. He will draw 2 cards.
What?
I would have coined and Shadow Step before. Well, next turn he wants to Auctioneer, Coin,
Use
Sap,
everything. Yeah.
but he could have also done that. Well, next turn anyway. And I'm just confused why he did it this way. He could have. Yeah, he could have just drawn 2 more cards. He anyways wants to play the Deadly Poison next turn, so why not do it now? And that's so annoying. If the Warlock has his Earthen Ring Farseers, you're happy he brings himself down damage point for damage point, and then he even heals himself up further. You can also just Siphon Soul your minions too. And there's eventually...
Oh, yeah, you could do that, that's true.
Well, it feels strange if you Siphon Soul your own minions, but you just if you want to have the heal, that's just a possibility.
He can't really play the Sap now. He needs to keep it.
Well, but he needs to play it also. If he's not keeping it, that 4-9 minion will just attack and attack and attack, and he cannot stop it. Oh, and
Oh, nice.
He lost a Mountain Giant, so that sap was valuable. It's annoying for Skip. That's 1 Mountain Giant. It would only have costed 3, so he could have played Mountain Giant plus Twilight Drake if he had it in his hand. That's way too strong. But as we said, Auctioneer dies.
Loses the Siphon. Well, it could be worse.
Well, Siphon Soul, I want to say it's okay since he has his Skip has his Leroy in the hand, and that game looks like just
I don't see a way how Cypher can win.
well, I don't see a way how Skip can lose. So
See?
that looks really good for Skip here. He has 10, so he has 6 damage on the board. He has 6 damage in his hand at least, plus the defensive Argus. Though there's the possibility of 12, 14 damage next turn if he wants to. He decides to, well, Cypher decides to clear 1 minion here to just deal with the 4-9. Well, still a 4-9 minion. Draws a Selnus. Selnus Shadow Flame is always funny. Do 2 damage. Oh, he can go for Leroy Shadow Flame if he wants to. Burns the board and gets rid of everything. 10 damage in the face. But I guess it's gonna be Sun Fury Protector plus Argus maybe. It's a possible play. Just getting more and stronger minions out. If he goes for... I wanted to say if he goes for Selnus Shadow Flame, he can Mortal Coil the minion. But he's out of mana for that play. But if he plays an Argus now, well, that's a funny play actually. If he goes for the face, and just brings him down to 18, and that SI7 agent kills his Argus, he can next turn Mortal Coil the SI7 agent. And there's another stab for Cypher, exactly what he wants to see now. So if he goes for sab, preparation, something, Earth on a Ring Farseer, Van Cleave, that could be 10-10 Van Cleave if I'm not mistaken. But that would be not so OP.
That's nice.
Yeah, but
Good shit.
He has those preparations, but no auctioneer now to go for crazy preparation mode.
The problem is, he knows there's still a Siphon Soul. He knows there's most likely gonna be a big Game Hunter in that deck. So it's risky to go for it, especially against the Headlock, because he's drawing so many cards.
Well, it's a good play to go preparation Sab Van Cleave now. Even though you know your Van Cleave might die.
You kind of want to keep one Sap for the late game, because you know there's so many possibilities that Skip has taunts on the board.
But he lost already 1 Sun Fury Protector. He lost already 1 Argus. So 1 Sun Fury Protector, 1 Argus is still left. It could be better for you. It could look better, as you say. Maybe keep something. But there is now incoming 7 damage in your face. Down to 16. 12 Van Cleave. Well, there's Big Game Hunter Shadow Flame. This is what you're probably going to play. And this is extremely annoying for your enemy. Still, the play was good by Cypher.
Yes.
It hurt.
It was good. I think it was, well, it was the best play he could do with his cards, let's put it that way.
But it wasn't
he's
the optimum
screwed.
play.
Yeah, now he's screwed.
Well, that Big Game Hunter Shadow Flame is just a perfect combo. If he only had the Siphon Soul and no more Soul Fires,
that would have been super good.
That would have been okay. Well, he could also Siphon Soul Big Game Hunter, just leave the 1/1 alive if he wants to, just to be healed. But I feel that 1/1 Selnus alive is too big of a threat, especially with an Azure Drake together. Yeah, Fan of Knives, even without an Azure Drake, so he can just kill that minion easy mode now. Well, he could have done with an Azure Drake next turn anyway.
Would you still play the Azure Drake?
I would maybe play it first, and whatever I draw, if it's extremely helpful, you can still go prep Fan of Knives.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But well, if you do the Fan of Knives too, first, it doesn't matter what you draw next, since you cannot use it at all. But this way around, you at least bought the option to maybe use what you draw. And there's still the possibility of Leroy Shadow Flame. This is
could also be Leroy Overwhelming and Faceless. That would be insta-kill. We know he doesn't have it, but...
Well,
doesn't
Twilight Drake, Ancient Watcher, Sun Fury Protector. That seems to be a pretty strong board again if he wants to do it. Well, he decides to not Ancient Protector, which surprises me a lot. both steps are gone. So I would have valued that Ancient Watcher super high and actually use it.
What was he afraid of? Well, there's nothing he should be afraid of. Of course, weapon up, a deadly poison, Blade Flurry Eviscerate would clear the entire board. But that would also be 7 mana.
I'm just surprised by not seeing that Ancient Watcher out. He could have just healed himself up next turn, so it didn't matter so hard.
Maybe he wants to go for a Watcher Shadow Flame combo.
But that was his only... Still, that was his only card in his hand at the moment to make use of the Watcher. So the Watcher is useless at the moment.
Well.
Sitting in the hand, doing nothing. Cypher is going to sacrifice his... Well, not sacrifice, but use his Drake. And next turn we might just see what you said. Watcher Shadow Flame, or still Leroy Shadow Flame if he wants to do it. Everything is possible.
Go Leroy Shadow Flame.
I prefer Leroy Shadow Flame since you're getting instantly rid of those 1/1s. If you use Ancient Watcher Shadow Flame, you still have your Leroy to play.
Yeah.
Well, he can just play Leroy Ancient Watcher Shadow Flame and it would also get rid of the small drakes and deal 10 damage, 12 damage, and keep his Leroy on the board.
No, I would keep the Leroy on the board regardless. I would kill the of course the Watcher.
That seems to be the #1 play here. Molten Giants are not going to come if you're not dropping lower.
That's okay.
And he doesn't need to drop lower. And that Leroy will be on the board until it gets backstabbed.
Yeah, or a Blade Flurry. Well, there's nothing that gives you... Well, he still has a Deadly Poison, but there's no spell power left in the deck, right? Do we see 2 Azure Drakes or 1?
Oh, that's not sure for me in my brain. I do not know. But what we know, if we see Cypher's hand, if Skip decides to do his perfect play here, as we said, with Leroy Watcher, Shadow Flame Watcher, and the moment he's not able to get rid of Leroy. And there's a time limit again, and I just love that they put the time limit on. There are some players that can play perfect if they have their 5 minutes turn, but if they only have 90 seconds, they actually get worse. And that makes the game even more competitive in my eyes, the time limit. I
GG.
like it a lot.
That's game.
And that's game here. Skip wins with his hand lock.
Both have big game hunters, but you know there's... Control is key in this one. The Druid has the advantage that he has a Keeper of the Grove against the Twilight Drakes. He can just silence them, but the Warrior has all those executes and stuff.
That's correct. Rooting for Warrior here too. And as we see, there it is. Even with a cleave, well, that cleave is okay. Won't be that useful in this matchup. And he gets no execute, big game hunter, shield slam in his starting hand. He has even a Cairn, so it's a rather slow version. And but Skip has 2 Ancient Watchers, a Soundless, Soulfire, that's it. Not really a useful hand too. And also already a Black Knight for Cypher here.
I think Karen is a really good minion against the handlock, because, well, he has 1 or 2 silences. Some run 1 owl, some 2. But it's hard for the Warlock just to kill the Karen.
That's correct. He needs to kill Karen twice, and killing Karen twice is always annoying. He has an option now to do double Ancient Watcher Sunfury Protector. That would be super annoying for Cypher. The one good thing, he has a Brawl in his hand, but you don't want to use your Brawl so early, and he has a Black Knight roaming around. So he's able to deal with that if it drops on the board. Could kill one instantly, can kill the next one soonish if he wants to, or just go for Brawl, as we said.
Will we see Soulfire?
That's too risky. You get 2 Giants in your hand and a Siphon Soul. So many good cards that could be drawn from your hand.
Defender, Sunfury, Selness. don't really want to lose anyone.
Double armor smith dropping on the board is super nice. If anything happens to you now, you just gain so much armor, and he could even kill one of those watchers without even wow, Shadow Flame. Nice for Skip. If he wants to just get rid of those 1/4 minions, it would be actually worth it. Just
He
going.
should.
Well, he can taunt those two up and don't care. That's okay. Still, that Soulfire is so... It's going to hurt you more than it helps you. Whoa, will we see now the Black Knight incoming? It could be possible. It would be a nice turn. But next turn, there's Selnus in Skip's hand too. So he can Selnus Soulfire every time he wants to for 5 damage. Whirlwind, Cleave, whatever is not going to kill good. If he brawls,
I was considering Brawl as well.
but it feels not what you want to do, since you got a Karen, for example, in your hand. You don't need to Black Knight here instantly. Your enemy has only 2 5/6 minutes on the board that cannot attack. So
It's just armoring up.
that doesn't hurt you. I might have considered just playing Karen. So there are 2 5/6, but they're not gonna do anything. He can always slam Whirlwind to kill that 2/3 minion if he wants to get rid of it. And just drop down your Karen. There was no reason to not to. And that armor up, well, he's on 10 armor now, but he doesn't have a shield slam roaming around at the moment.
No single one indeed. Yeah, I agree. You should have kept the Black Knight. I think Brawl was also a potential play. But yeah, as you said, there's no real threat on the board.
Yeah, you want to brawl when there is 2 giants. 2 giants and a Taunter. 1 Twilight Drake giant and a Taunter. Then you want to brawl. Now you would only brawl to get rid of 2 damage. Those 5/6ers are not going to attack. If they get silenced, then you can still brawl. But until then, there's
is he
actually no need.
Did he consider Siphon Souling? I don't get it.
Yeah, that Siphon Soul would feel wasty.
Yeah, and he doesn't know what to do now.
He really wants to play something, but he's struggling hard. And there could be, as we said, now he could still brawl. Well, I would Ancient Acolyte of Pain. Whirlwind, see what happens. Maybe slam the 2/3 first.
You will get 6 armor.
Slam, draw a card, and then go Whirlwind. This is going to be amazing. As you say, 6 armor and a card to be drawn. Plus a shield slam.
That card is a shield slam. Perfect.
That was a really nice move overall. You can kill 1 Ancient Watcher, and then he might be able to Shadow Flame the 2nd Ancient Watcher, and that's going to hurt. The annoying thing now is there could be Selnus, Shadow Flame, and just kill the complete board. That would be 6 more armor, but the board is clear. That's 1+1 spell damage on the 2 HP. So we are going to deal 3. Give him 6 armor again. He draws a card.
That's actually not too bad for Cypher.
It's okay. He gets really a lot of options in his hand. Double shield slam.
Armor. Imagine you could shield slam on people. That would hurt.
That would be instant kill. He can now just drop Karen if he wants to. And shield slam away 1 Watcher. Next turn, Cleave, War Axe the other Watcher. Or just Black Knight it. But he would have Karen on the board.
He could also Karen and Taskmaster away the Selnus. Because Karen has 5 HP. Soulfire does 4 damage, but with spell damage it's 5. That would be a kill.
Well, those 2 Watchers only have 5 HP. Also the possibility of just Cleave. See what happens. If you obviously hit one of those Watchers, and then you can just kill him with your weapon. That's funny. That's useful.
That's also a possibility, yeah.
Well, he's most likely going to
Shield slam.
shield slam next turn. Maybe ping away the Selnus with his Taskmaster. 2 plays I consider as
I mean,
good.
you could also go for Brawl and see what happens.
Now there's at least a Twilight Drake out, but in my opinion, you always want to keep the Brawl
The
for
Giants.
for those 2 Molten Giants upcoming. Since you know he drops down to 10, you will see 2 Molten Giants. And I'm a fan of using your Shield Slams when you have the armor and not using your Shield Slams later when your armor might be gone already.
Yep. But does he still have shield blocks? I think he at least one.
Well, if he taunts up his Twilight Drake, that's a bummer now. We're definitely going to see a Black Knight incoming.
Why?
Well, Black
Brawl-
Knight
Brawl is
or
just
Brawl
perfect.
now after he taunted, as you say.
Oh,
But that's super stupid. Now he needs to wait a turn if he wants to Black Knight or just shield slam away.
Obvious choice.
2 options for him if he wants to use his shield slam now or later. But as we said, don't lose your armor. Brawl nice, but I guess I still wouldn't have brawled. You don't want to attack. So the thing again, you don't want to attack. You don't have your Grimash in hand, you don't have your Alex, you don't have anything in your hand. You could have just shield slammed that way away or Black Knighted away, ping the Salnus, and it would be okay for you. And you can still use your brawl later on, since we know there are 2 Molten Giants coming. And he knows there are 2 Molten Giants coming too if your enemy is so deep in his deck already. Wow, he has the 20 damage combo in his hand. Leroy,
Yeah.
power
That would
overwhelming.
only get rid of the armor right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want.
Double execute shield slam. No way.
This is
No
a
way
really
Cypher loses.
I would say no way Cypher loses too, since as we see his hand, it's just crazy. And he also has a Faces Manipulator. So yeah, bro, play your Mountain Giant and copy it. That's okay. He can just Faces Manipulator, Taskmaster, Shield Slam, execute, get rid of everything, have his own 8/8 minion roaming around.
So strong.
Well, his consideration is there's Karen on the board, there's a 3 damage weapon, Grimash Taskmaster, I would die. That's what going through his head right now. Well, what must be going through his head. Let's say it like that. It looks good for Skip. Well, it looks okay for Skip, but even better for Cypher. Skip can still carry this away. He got a lot of damage in his hand, so there's a possibility of really crazy mode. Stifling Soul and Karen heals yourself, makes yourself getting killed proof. There's even Grimash Taskmaster, so that was a perfect play.
Wow. He
That
would have
would-
been dead.
There were 19 damage. It is.
Well, he would have had a taunter.
Oh, if he played his taunt, so he
Yeah,
needed to
but
play.
those were the 2 plays, right?
Well, or play his Mountain Giant Faces Manipulum to get 2 crazy minutes.
That would be too risky. in my
That would be
opinion.
too risky.
Because you still have the Moltens.
Correct. There we see the copy plus Shield Slam upcoming, probably.
Oh, 22 armor, god damn it.
22 damage on the Giant, just shattering it into small pieces. And now 19 damage still. This is going to be extremely hard for Skip
19?
to handle.
I count 27 damage.
Well, I see the Giant dead. I don't know why. That's just... an 8/8 minion will not survive for a turn. So he's either going to double Soulfire if he wants to, or just go Leroy, Power Overwhelming, kill it, and then go Soulfire. Plus Mortal Coil on the right minion. That's a possible thing to do for me.
He would lose almost all his hand cards. Including the Giants.
Oh, Faceless Manipulator. So...
Well, doesn't really help him, does it?
still, you need to go double Soulfire at the moment. Did he just Soulfire himself?
He wants to have... he wanted to keep the Moltens and then go for Defender. That way, he got screwed.
Well, that was an acceptable play.
Oh, God!
And his Mortal Coil gets burned.
Ouch.
It wasn't only sad losing your Molten Giant, but now we're just going to see... Yeah, He can just go Black Knight, win the game. No efforts to be taken here.
GG.
It's a really nice played by Cypher here, and well, sad moves from Skip in
Well,
the
Skip
end.
got unlucky.
He tried it. He tried it to.
Taunt in the last match, if I'm not mistaken. So Rogue is a possible option.
We saw it, Blazing Glory. He did it first time. It worked out for him. We see it again, maybe from Skip now. He's playing a Miracle Rogue 2. Keeps his Van Cleave in starting hand. For Cypher, we have a Harrison Jones for a change. Plus
Oh,
Black
nice.
Knight. That's useless. And Slam, well, you kind of want to have your Fury War Axe to get rid
Yeah.
of those early minions. If an Urzen Ring comes, it's super annoying. We get a good starting hand for Skip. Oh, we get an okay starting hand for Cypher now with that Shield Slam. He can with double Shield Slam. Now he only needs a Shield Block.
Mm. And it's interesting, Skip's hand. He's running the Cold Light Oracle, which means that 99% we won't see any Azure Drakes.
Any Azure Drakes, Acolytes of Pain, maybe one. Maybe he plays one Cold Light Oracle and one Acolyte. There's some or a lot of
Variations.
versions
Yeah.
from Miracle Rogue at the moment. That's pretty crazy. Players play him with a White Pyromancer even to go more anti-rush. There's some decks running around, and it's cool to see one deck having so many different variations, as you say.
It's the same with Control Warrior. Some run Gorkron, some run Frothing Berserker. A couple of people put in a Wild Pyromancer. It's just always what you think fits your playstyle the most or what you struggle against.
That's correct. 1 damage, well, he could have also shifted to draw a card. He can shift next turn anyway to draw that card, but he deals 2 damage. So it's okay to do the play here. And as we said, as a Miracle Rogue, it's, well, especially against a Control Warrior, it's extremely important when to play what. So there could be the shift now, but you're only getting armor down. You could shift or just Fan of Knives to draw a card. You really don't want to play Fan of Knives against a warrior.
No.
He's probably going to have 2 armor smiths out when you Fan of Knife. That hurts. And he gets his preparation for the auctioneer plus a backstab. So 1 bazillion cards possible to draw on turn 5.
He decides against it. Ooh, nice. Next turn he has a Conceal.
He needs to keep his coin. That's just 1 free card on turn 5. Really don't want to use it earlier. He has a Conceal, as you said, so we might just see Auctioneer, Preparation, Conceal. Maybe, just not more. He could also go for what I'm talking about, Preparation, Conceal. I mean, Auctioneer, Coin, Conceal, and just keep the moves for next turn to go crazy Van Cleef mode, for example. That's what I would go.
Yeah.
Even though your enemy already has 5 armor. Oh, there's the golden Leroy.
Doesn't have any Shadow Steps yet, though.
Those MYM players have too many golden Leroys. I saw at least 3 by now.
Well, he has that value, you know.
If
Might as well have a golden Leroy.
yeah, if he's golden, he deals more damage.
Yep. Mental damage.
That's next turn. Preparation, Backstab, Fan of Knives, Eviscerate. There's some cards to be drawn, plus a Shadow Step. So as you said, we don't have a Shadow Step. Well, you're lying. We have a Shadow Step.
No, we do.
And he's thinking about going for the Cold Light Oracle here to burn his enemy some hand cards. There's 8 hand cards in your enemy's hand, but you cannot do it since you're going to burn yourself so many cards. How strong could it Van Cleef can be? There's an Eviscerate, Preparation,
Backstab.
Backstab, that's
Shadow
3
Step.
cards. Shadow Step something. Shift something.
To be honest, would you go for a crazy Van Cleef or rather 6/6?
Well, I would if you go for Van Cleef and then go crazy mode. You cannot always go for the Peace Van Cleef. Only 6/6.
I'm not hurting anyone.
Yeah, just 6/6. No threat, bro. You cannot always go for that one. But if you choose to play your Eviscerate here, definitely go for preparation. SI7 agent, for example, now plus Van Cleave. That should be the 8-8 Van Cleave, if I'm not mistaken. 10-10 Van Cleave, yeah, plus 8-8 Van Cleave. It's a super strong board, and if your enemy is not having a shield block now, or a
Well, shield block. He needs some triggers for execute and have an execute. But he
and
doesn't.
have an execute, that's correct. We might see a slam on the auctioneer.
Shield.
Well, I would slam the auctioneer. Worst case, if I don't get an execute,
I would
weapon down the 3-3 and then cleave.
I would. Yeah, that's true.
That seems to well, that clears the most stuff.
Yeah, but he needs to. He needs to kill what?
Well, he really wants to go for the execute.
Well,
Main problem now, if he is thinking about cleaving
if
now,
he's unlucky,
he hits the
he is
SI7 and then cleave.
What?
Well, he can still go for armor
And
up
shield.
plus she's
The 4-2, just to be super safe. I preferred your play with the weapon, to be honest.
But now 13 damage on the board plus weapon, so that's 16 damage if he wants to. Or just go, well, that's 13 on the board. Leroy Shadow Stab Leroy. That's 12. That's only
For 6
25.
mana
That's only 25.
only.
That's not enough. Well, you can deal safe 13 now. And then kill. Like, if I would play for the win here, do the 13, get your weapon out, do additional 3.
No, play Azure Drake and go for Shift.
What you would deal 1 damage more was the poison.
Yep. That's true. But you get another card with Shift.
Or you get
And
another card.
It could be a Shadow Step, could be Cold Blood, could be a Viscerate.
The main problem is there is a Cold Blood now, you want to play it. You would have drawn it anyways next turn, but you cannot use it this turn.
True.
And I would have preferred doing those 3 damage with a Deadly Poison to do those 3 damage again next turn. 6 damage overall. But I guess both plays were viable. We see a Cold Blood now. That's 16 damage only from Van Cleave. That's enough to win the game here.
Lost. How much damage did we lose? 1 last turn.
It looks like Skip is going to win with his Miracle Rogue. And already 2 times Miracle Rogue at the moment going really strong, doing their job.
Well, in all the Miracle games, they got the Auctioneer, which is really important, which is the most important card.
And that's correct. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. If you get it, most of the times you win.
I choose that. Boo!
Well played here for Skip. He carried